Turns out, eventually, when you take a loan, they do want the money back.
Yeah, I didn't realize that. I thought it was just like one of those things where it's like, oh, like trust me, I'll give it back to you at some point. But I didn't realize they like wanted it back like now.
Well, you look at like how many people are in debt, and you just think, they're not going to catch us all.
Well, yeah, because it's like what America itself is like trillions of dollars in debt.
Yeah, why is nobody like loan sharking them? Why is nobody breaking their knees?
Exactly. Like we should have like if that's the case, and like there should be like a big like bomb that goes off on America. I mean, just kidding. I mean, like a big festival goes off, and we all celebrate just clearing all our debt.
You can't see from this angle, but I'm in a wheelchair because the loan sharks cut my knees off.
Oh my god, dude! I didn't know it got that bad.
Yeah, it got pretty bad.
I just don't know what we're gonna do.
Oh, is that a problem for you that I'm in a wheelchair?
Well, no. I'm talking about like in general, like how to pay back the money. Like I want to be able to like help you out, and then pay this guy back. I don't want anything bad else to happen to you.
He said he took my knees, and then he said, I'm gonna take Jack's arms.
I'm Jack, or maybe he meant Jack's films because he was on an episode.
I mean, he was in Vegas with us, and
he got crazy.
He went all in at the blackjack table, and then when he lost, he started yelling at the dealer, saying, "Don't you know who I am?"
It's like, I've been on YouTube since 2005, man, since it was fucking made. We're like, dude, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't fucking count here. Like, they know that. And then he's like, whatever. And he fucking walked out.
Never gamble with your heroes. It really turns them into a different kind of person.
No, it was awkward when Jackson was on his knees begging us for a $20 bill to put on roulette. And I was like, oh my God. I'm like, sell some merch or something. Do yai.
And then I'm not going to get into it more, but it was
something.
It was disappointing.
Can say that again.
Back to COOLDOG Podcast. The podcast with the cool dogs out. No socks.
Well, I don't have any socks on either. No socks on.
No socks. I have rashes on my feet.
What the hell? How'd you get rashes on your feet?
I don't know. They're just kind of there, and I've kind of grown attached to them. So I think I'm just gonna leave them there.
I feel like sometimes I like look at the bottom of my feet. I'm like, I like have so much dead skin that like I need to like peel off.
Mm-hmm.
But like I don't know how to do it like efficiently. Like I don't want to have somebody else do it because I feel like I don't need anyone else going through that. Like I need to do this myself. I'm on my own journey.
Well, I imagine we used to just walk barefoot. We didn't like spawn in knowing how to make shoes.
Yeah, that's true.
So I guess that's why we get so much dead skin up there. It's because we used to like walk it off,
But then why the fuck do we get like athlete's foot? Like what is that all about?
It's the foot's protest against the sock.
Well, that's fucked up. Because I don't understand how like you could wear like a shirt 3 times and like 3 times in a day, or not 3 times a day. What am I saying? 3 times a week, and you could like get nothing. You could wear pants same time, whatever, same day, whatever, nothing. But if you wear the same socks over and over again, you get athlete's foot, and I don't get that.
I got it because of my grandpa, I think.
Oh, he like passed it down to you, or?
Nah, he would rub my feet at night. Oh.
Oh, okay. Well, do you want to like talk about that, man? Like he rubbed your feet at night? Like, is that like an Estonian thing or just like a family thing, or?
No, it was chill.
Oh, like so, but like, okay, now I'm like starting to think about more. How did he give you athlete's foot if he's rubbing it? He's rubbing your feet. So like he had it on his hands?
He had like athlete's hands.
Yeah. He was wearing like gloves nonstop and he just like was sweating through them.
Yeah.
He had like those fingerless gloves.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, he was first of its kind, actually. If you look up CNN, athlete's hands, a picture of my grandpa will show up.
Really? Let me see this.
Yeah.
Athlete's hand.
He's shirtless in the picture, which I thought was
Oh my God,
weird.
he is.
Yeah.
He's got
And he
some
has
big
that, he has that
areolas.
tattoo. He has that tattoo of the heart and a horse. I never really understood what that was about, but I kind of didn't want to ask him about it because he became very easily aggravated.
Yeah, I mean, he probably could have given you like some other athletes things. Like he could have given you the foot, he could have given you the hands, he could have given you anything.
The athlete sandwich, they call it.
The
In his
athlete
case.
buffet.
Yeah, athlete buffet. No, that man was the whole buffet, man. He was one of the greatest men I ever met.
Because of his athletes, like on his body, or just because he's a good
that was
man?
just one of the many gifts that he gave me.
Oh, what were the other gifts? Like
male pattern baldness.
Oh, that's cool.
Potentially like lung cancer 20 years down the line because he used to like smoke indoors. He used to smoke this like, he used to have this like garbage in a plastic bag that he would roll up into a cigarette and then he would smoke it.
Oh,
and I would inhale it.
That's awesome. I feel like we're going to get some kind of like weird ass disease though, because we like, he may have smoked like cigarettes and cigars or whatever, but like we smoke like plastic now.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah.
We have the pen. He didn't have the pen.
I think if he would have taken one hit from your pen, he would have like died immediately.
He would have been like that one guy where like he's hitting the hit of the jewel. He's like, oh, and he like starts getting red and he starts like coughing a bunch.
Imagine this scenario.
Okay.
You're at my home that I grew up in, my apartment. It's me, you, my late grandfather, who's in this moment still alive.
Okay.
And we're all hanging out. You and I are hitting the blinky, and then I go to the bathroom. Like, I'm gonna go to the bathroom, guys. And I kind of look at you to signal, don't give him the blinky. I say, don't give him the blinky. And then you, because you think it'd be funny, you give him it, and then it kills him. And then while in the bathroom, you've killed my grandfather because he smoked your weed pen.
I would feel terrible. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I here's the thing: is realistically though, I wouldn't give it to him unless he did like a give me, like he did like
he
one
would
of those.
do that a lot, but with like
then I probably did give it to him, and I probably did. But like, how much of that is on me? I mean, like you gave me a look. You didn't say like, "Hey, don't do it." You just kind of gave him like a, you know what I mean? Like, how much of it is my fault? Because like he knew better, probably at his age, unless he was senile. I don't know.
He was he was a little bit too conscious. I think that was one of his biggest problems. He was I mean, I think it was just kind of the matter of it, he probably would have thought like, nah, this weed ain't shit.
And
dies.
He takes a hit of that fucking sativa and he fucking passes out. I would feel bad though. I can't imagine like actually giving anyone like my weed pen and then having them like have like a cardiac arrest because they fucking can't breathe. I think I would want to die. I would have to, dude. I would feel terrible if I didn't go to the funeral, like did anything. Like at least maybe like send some flowers if I couldn't make it for some reason. Like
but that then like like all of my relatives would kind of stare you down the entire funeral. Like even people would be like kind of turned around like this and they'd just be staring at you the entire funeral because. I whispered to them, I say, that's the guy that gave him the blinky, everybody.
Oh. So you snitch on me? You'd be like, this is the guy that killed my grandfather? Okay, man.
I mean, you killed my grandfather. Of course I would
snitch on
him.
Not on purpose. I wanted him to have a good time.
You killed the most important man in my life.
Okay, well, if you put it like that, then I'm sorry. And, maybe I do deserve the glares. But, I would bring some flowers. I'd bring some, like, I don't know, some Hesburger. Like guy, I'd be like Donald Trump at the White House, be like Hesburger for everyone.
He used to eat a lot of porridge.
Oh, I'll make some homemade porridge, just how he liked it. What kind of porridge do you like?
I don't know. Like you would see like kind of things swimming around in it. I'm not really sure what.
Yeah, like amoeba or like just like random things.
Just like kind of like when you zoom it, like when it's like Flapjack. The cartoon, the whale one, and then it does like the zoom in, and it's like the most hideous shit you've ever seen in your life. Kind of like that.
That is nasty. Also, before I forget.
Oh yeah.
Gold Star of the month. Actually, this is a big one. We've been saving up for this because there hasn't been an episode in a month, but that's because we've been saving up for the Gold Star of the month. And it's for somebody
to be a big one.
And somebody called Earthbound 2 said, I'm dying on Monday, and my last wish is a COOLDOG episode today. And that was 3 weeks ago. So they are now dead. R.I.P.
What is their name?
Earthbound 2.
Earthbound 2. Wow.
Couldn't even get Earthbound 1. So unfortunate.
Down there with my grandfather, you know.
Down there. So you think he went to hell?
I don't know. I mean, it's a COOLDOG listener.
No
COOLDOG
offense. Listeners are going to hell because they're all like, you know.
I think every COOLDOG listener would agree with it that they're going to go to hell. I think these are the kind of people that are kind of proud of it.
I'm like, if I had to like think back at my life right now, I'm like, my track with everything that I've done, everything good and bad, I really don't know. Like,
you'd get into heaven, I think.
I maybe hell, because like,
really?
Well, here's the thing, right? Is like,
you have some skeletons in your closet.
I got some skeletons in my closet, quite literally. That's why I'm on construction site because taking care of some shit right now. But
right.
Like, if you're technically going off of like the Bible, if that's what it is, if that's like the actual fucking shit, like, oh, you gotta like follow the Bible, then like I've said God and fuck and shit all a bunch.
Well, I feel like if you go by the Bible, I feel like heaven would have like 10 motherfuckers in there.
True, but like, it's like, you know, it'd probably be like, you know, my circle small, but we all crazy kind of thing.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would go crazy if I had to be infinitely in the same place with 10 people. I would lose my fucking shit.
It's like start fucking throwing shit around in heaven.
Yeah, I mean, I would beg to get downstairs.
Yeah, I would feel a little bit left out. I would get some FOMO if I like went up in heaven and then everyone else is like, yeah, no, they're not here, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, they're burning eternally.
They're all like, you all are pushing that fucking pushing that boulder constantly up the hill, just to like do it every single day over and over again. And I'm like, I kind of want to do that though. Like, I used to be with people.
I mean, like, if you're burning in hell eternally, right? Is the idea that you're also screaming eternally, or do you eventually give up on the whole concept of screaming and you just kind of get used to it?
I don't know. I feel like it'd just be kind of fun. I feel like it'd be like kind of your own amusement, just being able to scream.
Yeah, because I mean, eventually it's like, you know, it's kind of like how if you smell like shit long enough, you won't be able to smell that you smell like shit because you get used to it. So it's kind of like, Now, I read that in a book one time. I don't know that from personal experience, but
oh, you're not like smelly or stinky?
No, not at all.
Oh, that's
like,
good.
I wash my ass real good.
I need to start washing my ass way better because we can't use baby wipes anymore, and we don't have a bidet. So
why not use baby wipes anymore?
Well, because I'm in the basement, right? And there's the laundry behind me, like the little laundry area.
Yeah.
And in the basement, originally, there was like a bathroom, had like a shower and like a toilet. And there's like a drain that's like near the laundry, and then a shower drain where the shower used to be. And for some reason, right, like a bunch of sludge started coming out of the drain and like was just like out and about. And we didn't know what the fuck was going on. And so we had to call people, and they're like, it might be like a root problem. It might be like some tree root, in which there are no trees near us. So that's not it. And so Boompa, my grandpa, was like, it's probably because you all fucking clogged the toilet or some shit. And I was like, I don't know about that. So then he's like, no, you all can't use like baby wipes anymore. But then he took it a step further and said, which we're not doing this. This is actually insane. He said you should use like plastic bags to throw out your wipes. Like you get done with it and you get like a fucking like Kroger bag and then you throw it in there and then you like take it out to the trash and throw it away. And I was like, I don't know if I want to do that.
I've stayed at some houses where people do that, where it's like, you know, there's like a trash can next to the toilet that you're supposed to put the baby wipes in, and I think it's a noble concept. But every now and then, you kind of look over to throw the baby wipe in there, and you just see someone's like big poop smear on one of the baby wipes.
That's what I mean. Like if it's a big poop one, like I don't think anyone needs to see that. It doesn't need to be like out in the open. Like it obviously would need to be thrown away, but it's like.
Sometimes
I don't want to have to do that.
Just like you look in there, and it's like a crime scene. Like one of them's just green, and you wonder like, what the fuck happened?
What'd you eat that made it green?
Yeah, and then you walk out of the bathroom, and you kind of like look over everybody that's in the house, and you immediately like it just takes over my entire mind. Like who fucking Who left it green?
And then you're like, it was grandma.
It was, oh yeah, dude. Grandmas, they be pooping green. No offense to any grandmas out there.
Oh, they do. And they know it too.
They know it and they're proud of it.
Mm-hmm. Grandmas be crazy like that. So
you're just going to go dry wipe?
I have to. I have to use fucking normal toilet paper, which I mean, I still do. Like, I mean, I already have used toilet paper, but it's just like one of those things where, like, you know, it's usually like a baby wipe, then you wipe with normal toilet paper. But now that there's no baby wipe, just a normal wipe, and then like just got to kind of wait for it. Be done.
I have heard that installing a bidet is not super difficult.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too, is like I want to get a bidet, but I don't know, because here's the thing, it's like my fucking family's so weird with some shit where, like, I feel like if I were like, I want to install a bidet in our bathroom, it'd be like witchcraft. Like they wouldn't be like, they'd be like that's weird, or like I don't even know. They probably would say like, oh, that's gay, and I'd be like, hello. Like that's not it at all. Like I like it, and I'm very straight, so.
I do get kind of freaked out by the bidets that don't warm up the water, so then you just get like a huge shot of cold water in your butt.
Mm-hmm.
So I have thought about getting a bidet, but if I were to get one, it would have to be like the one that kind of warms it up a little bit, you know, kind of like the Matt Watson ones.
I was gonna say, I'm like, I need that fucking Matt Watson like bidet XL.
Yeah,
like that one is really good, and I could probably sit in the toilet for like an hour or two, just like.
No, that's the thing is like sometimes because there's a toilet seat warmer too, so you're just kind of sitting there, and it really like, at first when it happened, I almost like kind of freaked out and got off the seat, because it used to remind me of like when my grandpa or my dad used to just sit on the toilet for like 40 minutes, and then you'd go in there after, and the toilet seat was just like heated up from their ass, and then like you realize that you're kind of like absorbing the fucking warmth of your dad's ass.
You're just taking on all this heat from his big steamy mud pie.
Yeah, so it's like I at first I was like, damn, like Matt Watson's got a warm thing down there. But then I realized, oh no, it's like it just does that.
But he also does warm up the seat quite a bit. Like
no, he does. He's bony, but he's warm, is what they say.
He is quite, like, it's insane. Like you would think, oh, Matt Watson, probably a guy who doesn't really create that much like fire on his ass, but it really like heats up the seat even way more so than the bidet, I would say.
Yeah
Kind of crazy.
How have you been recently? What have you been up to in your life?
I was just in the fucking Fall Guys Twitch tournament, which I don't know why Ludwig was in it.
Yeah, see, that's bullshit, because it's like it feels good to get like a nice like $700 check, and then you realize like, oh, the millionaire is getting like $2,000.
Well, no, it's also just the fact that like he's not even on Twitch. He's literally like unpartnered. Like, how is he? He left you all. Like, you all broke up, and then you came back to him like a year later. Like, I don't get it.
They're desperate. They want him back.
And then also found out top person had the top team had a person that had 5,000 crowns, which I don't even know how that's even possible. Because I thought it was going to be like I thought it was the tournament was you can't have a team that's like a person has over 300. And like that's like 5,000 crowns is quite a lot more than fucking 300.
I think the time where I did the tournament, they hadn't even like regulated that at all. So every team just got like a bunch of affiliates that were really good. Mm-hmm. And it was just the most stupid fucking shit of all time. Like it was just you would die, and then you would watch like the fucking you would spectate another person, and it was just they were just like fucking speed running that shit. Like they were doing things that you didn't know were possible in the game. And then at that point it's like, well, why am I even fucking here? Like there's no fucking point.
No, but besides that, we did do pretty good. We did. We won. Well, we didn't win the first round. The first round was like top 5, gets into the championship lobby. Bottom 5 get into the loser, or they didn't call it a loser lobby, but they called it the consolation lobby. But we didn't get in the consolation lobby. We got in the championship lobby, and then we did pretty good. Prezzo killed it in the last couple games, and then we got to 7th place. So then we took home $5 million. So
wow, holy shit! That's huge.
I don't have to stream anymore. So
can I get some?
how much you want? Like, how much would you need or like want or?
You know, I think you know the amount that would be right to give to a friend of my status.
Like 100?
Million? I didn't realize you got that much.
No. I meant like 100 like euros.
Oh,
Like wouldn't that be enough? Like I thought like that's what the amount you were thinking of is like 100.
well, no, I kind of like if you won 5 million, and you only give me 100, I would feel a little bit underappreciated. Not to like be leechy or anything, but I'm just saying like if I won 5 million,
you would give me how much then? How much would you give me?
oh well, you know the right amount to give to a friend of your status.
You'd probably give me taxes or could take a good chunk of that. So then you'd probably give me like 1.3 mil.
I mean, not quite like that, but you know, it's in that it would be in that spirit. It would be in the spirit of that, but it wouldn't be that.
Okay, well then, like, how much? Like, is it like higher or is it like lower? Like lower? Like how lower? If it's lower,
It's lower, but it's like the amount I would give it's definitely numerically it's not the same amount at all, but spiritually it is.
Well, numerically, you haven't said a number, so like what's the number, man? Like, like hypothetically speaking,
it would be a number to show how I value your position in my life and the years that we've spent together doing things.
Okay, but that's that's still like kind of like a vague answer. I feel like I said like what's the number, and you're like a number that would, but like you can say like 2, you could say 3 if you really wanted.
It's a number that I will accurately figure out, and rest assured, it will be worthy of who you are to me.
Okay, so like, I get this. You want 200, don't you?
Well, no, that's no.
That's what this is about. You wanted 200, and I'm sorry that I didn't give you 200.
Maybe.
Okay. What are you gonna do with $200 million? Like what? Like what could you do?
I would give you 100 million back, infinite money. You
just keep passing back the same money, so then we don't have to spend taxes on it. So it's technically like a donation.
We should rush government buildings and make them not make us give them taxes.
You know what's crazy is we should get every one of our viewers to pull all their money out the banks.
Yes.
Rush the banks, pull out all your money.
Yes, because like, what are they gonna do? Take all of our cash? They won't even know where it's hidden. You guys can hide it at my house. Everyone,
exactly.
Bring it to my house.
You could bury it.
Yeah, exactly. Well, mostly to my house. I'll take good care of it.
I mean, I'm like under construction. Like, I could do like Tony Soprano. I could like put in the walls and shit, and they wouldn't even look.
I can punch a hole in my wall and do the same thing.
Oh, I mean,
not in like a violent way, just like in a clever way.
Like
a calculated way. Like
oh, that was. I thought you were actually gonna hit your wall for a second.
Kind of like I'm looking for something to lean on. I'm kind of like I'm looking
like a knock a hole in the wall.
Kind of like a
Oh.
My Killer's CD broke.
No. What was that? What was that little kick that you did? What, like the little pose? You did like a little something there.
Oh God, it's actually broken.
Uh-oh.
It's the worst day of my life.
Did it just like fall off the shelf, or like did you kick it?
It was a casualty in the line of sight.
Goddamn.
And for many, it was it's fine. It's no big deal.
Hey, it's gonna be okay, man. We can like get you another one. Like, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't care.
It's okay. Like, if you care, like, you can show your emotions. Like, it's not.
I'm just a very expressive person, and that always comes at a cost of life, at a cost of friends.
Oh, okay. What do you mean? What do you mean you're an expressive person and it comes at the cost of friends? Like, what do you mean? Like, you're too expressive, or?
Yeah, I'm a very passionate lover.
Oh, have you been like loving recently? Do you have any lovers?
I've been laying down some fucking monstrous penis, man.
Oh my god. Oh, okay. Like, so is it like your own penis, or like you're like getting it laid on you? Like,
No, I'm doing the lay-in. I'm doing the lay-in.
so
I'm
like
the
in like the local area, like you're just like, hey, anyone want this penis?
the crops have been planted and the fruits are sprouting.
Sprouting. So is somebody pregnant?
No. That's just, it's good for the economy.
Oh,
It's good for the economy. No, yeah, I guess we should address why there was no podcast for a month. And
True.
sometimes I'm going to be honest with you. I was just kind of like, I don't know what to talk about. I have nothing to say. Sometimes I'm just like, I have absolutely jack shit to say.
Mm-hmm. Same here. My room's not even done yet.
Yeah, exactly. We there's just everything's under construction in our life.
Some quite literally more than others.
Do you ever like sometimes like I look at my job and I'm like, man, like I'm such like a leech on society.
What do you mean a leech on society? Like, because we like go on Twitch and we're like, hey, y'all want to like sub to us? Or
I don't know. Like sometimes I look at I look at just like if you were to rank occupations, I sometimes like look at my occupation. I'm like, this has got to be like one of the most useless. Like if we needed to take every occupation and somehow help civilization from like the end of the world, like what are we gonna do? You know what I mean? I don't know how to do shit.
Yeah, I it is one of those things where like in reality it does not matter, but it does matter because I mean, what would be like? What would life be without like entertainment? You know what I mean? Like we just fucking walk around doing shit.
Yeah, we are actually the most important people.
More important than nurses and like doctors, I think.
When has a nurse ever made you laugh?
Exactly true. Like, and also like I don't see any partnered nurses or doctors on Twitch. So
yeah, nurses don't even get verified anymore.
They don't. Elon Musk took it away, and now you have to pay for it.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I've just been a little bit like I've been existential over the last month. I've kind of been like, what is my I never really I don't ask what is my purpose, because I think that was a stupid question. I don't think there's any purpose to anything really.
Yeah,
I think that's kind of like, we're like kind of hilariously insignificant. So like there doesn't really need to be a purpose. Because I mean, look at how big we are in comparison to the universe, and it's like, I mean, even if we had a purpose, like it's not a purpose.
Yeah, it's a purpose for a fucking planet out of billions and billions. Like there's like probably billions of other planets that maybe matter more technically than us.
We are impressively insignificant. It would be harder to become more insignificant than we already are.
Yeah,
and
we'd have to like find more and more planets to be like, oh, we're more insignificant now.
And I think there's multiple ways of looking at that. With, I think a lot of people, they'll view that and be like, oh, I don't want to think about that. But then it's like, I view it as like a comforting idea.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know, like, okay, we destroy this planet and like everything goes to shit. Well, at least like we can't ruin all of it. You know what I mean? We can't ruin all of the universe, all of existence.
Or at least, now that I'm thinking in my head, it's kind of like a fucked up thought, but it's like if we ruin the planet, like at least you'll die one day. like at least you'll die one day and you won't have to deal with it. Like it'll be someone else's problem.
Yeah.
Because nothing matters. Like you could either look at it like nothing matters in a bad way or nothing matters in a good way.
Absurdism versus nihilism. That's it's I feel like death is also interesting. These are just like conversations that I've kind of been thinking about a lot recently, because when I was a kid I used to be very afraid of death. It was like I used to not be able to sleep at night. All I could think about was the fact that like I think it's because early on in my life there was a lot of death around me, and then I was just like really young, being exposed to a lot of it. I really just couldn't grasp it as a concept. And now that I'm older, I didn't think about it a lot for a while. I'd never really crossed my mind, and now that I'm I don't know the age that I am, I do think about it, and I try to I like I saw like a Norm compilation recently where he talked about death.
I feel like I saw was it on TikTok?
It was on TikTok, and then I watched a bit more of it on YouTube.
I saw the exact same one, I think.
And it was it was very fascinating because he's a man that he had cancer, and he didn't tell anyone. He didn't tell anyone outside of his family. Like his friends didn't know.
Yeah.
And he through these like conversations throughout his entire career, you can kind of tell that his one big fear was death.
Yeah.
It was like the one thing that he was scared about. He was scared of dying. He was scared of facing death. And I don't know. Like I don't know why it's become like such a prominent conversation in my life recently. Like I never thought about it until recently, but I was like, oh yeah, like what would I want at my funeral? And I think we had this conversation. I also had it with like someone else where I was like, I don't know. Like sometimes I'm like, I don't even want a funeral, because the funerals I've been to, I'm just kind of like, I don't know if I want this to be like my sending off. This is just kind of like a little bit sad.
Yeah. I feel like even when people talk about like how, oh, I want like there to be a celebration, I feel like most times than not, even there's like still sadness, and you're like, oh well, you didn't fucking even hold up my own word. Like now you're all fucking crying at my fucking funeral. How about you party and have some soju?
Yeah, I guess it's like the difference of loss is like one of the worst things you can experience. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know, like I am like kind of that idea of like when I die, I kind of want people to, I don't know, have some kind of party. You know, I want people to kind of go hard with it. You know, I don't really want it to be all like boo-hoo. I kind of want it to be like woohoo, not in the sense of like woohoo, he's dead. But like,
long live the king. Like he's gone.
Finally, whew, relief. But I want it to be in a sense of like, I don't know, just like I hope that I left like some kind of good impact on people, that they can be like, you know what, I want to celebrate this impact that he left.
Yeah.
While he was here. Because that's, I don't know, that's like the what I guess everybody wants, right? But I don't even really care about, I don't even care about legacy that much, because I'm kind of like, I guess it's selfish in a way, because I'm like, I'm not going to be around for my fucking legacy.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how I think about it too. It's like, I feel like I'm more scared of people dying than myself dying. Because when people die, I have to deal with that, right? Like I have to go through the fucking whole stages of grief and shit. And you know, what that does to like a person when like someone close to them dies, that's not fun. But like when I the thing was, gotta take my Prozac. Well, that was like the fucking worst. I cannot believe that out of all the timing that could have gone off, it goes off when I'm like, no, I'm not actually scared of dying. It's people, other people dying, and then fucking that goes off. But no, it is one of those things where I used to be afraid of dying so much as a kid. Like I used to think, overthink so many things. Where I'm like, if I do this, I could die. If I cross the street wrong, I could die. I'm in a car right now. This is a fucking 1,000-pound, like thousands of pound vehicle that's made of metal, and it could just fucking smash into anything at any moment, because you know that's life. And so then I used to freak out all the time. But then I feel like I started getting older, and I started realizing like, oh, like when I die, I'm dead. Like that's it. Like I don't know exactly what's going to happen when I die. I don't think, I mean, more than likely it's probably going to be, oh, I'm dead, nothing. But like, even if there is something after, it's like there's nothing you can do to control it. It's just going to happen. And so then like, I've always, now the thing with me is always thinking about other people dying. And that's what really fucking freaks me out, is like, I would much rather die first than watch any other person that like I truly love and care about die. Because that's not fun at all. Yeah. And like, it's so insane how like that works, because it should be, I mean, as like a fucking species, it should be your main goal to like keep living. Like you don't want to die. You want to keep living and you want to fucking live out your entire life. But it is just one of those things where I don't know, like I feel like I am more comfortable with myself dying at any moment than I am with anyone else in my life dying at any moment. Cause that just freaks me out. Like the fact that like anyone could just go in any moment, like I don't know. It's just like so it weirds me out all the time. And I think about so many times where like a little too much and I'm like, oh, I should not like drive a car because I have ADHD and I might like fucking swerve off the road and die.
Yeah.
And so like I always fucking hyper fixate on shit like that. But I don't know. I feel like now it's just like I'm in a better space with it, but I'm still just like anybody close to me, just don't die yet. Like give me like 20 to 30 years. Like I don't need that right now.
Yeah.
We're all doing good.
Yeah. It's really the idea of people around you dying that is the kicker. Yeah. I feel like every time the few times that I have experienced death in my life, it's always been a little bit like it kind of sucks because in some ways it's always left like that person kind of left on like an unfinished note.
Yeah.
Where like when I was this friend I had when I was like 14 or 15, we were very close. I think at one point I remember when he died. He died like years later. I have to this day I don't think I've properly like understood it or processed it because it just kind of happened. You know, like we were best friends, and then one thing or another happened, and we kind of grew apart, stopped talking, and then a couple years later, dead.
Yeah,
and it was just very like it's very weird looking at like it's weird going on a dead person's social media page and seeing that you're blocked. That's like weird.
That's like tea. Like that's shady. Like
yeah,
what the hell?
It was just like damn. Like I guess that's how we left off, and it was just like it's just always been very bizarre to me to think about, and I don't know. Like you just never expect people to die, you know.
Yeah,
you don't expect them to die, and then they do, which you know. Duh. But I don't know. I like it's like I always like think at it and I'm like I when I heard that he died, I just had this like repeating moment in my head where I remember like it was like this kind of like we used to play TF2 together, right?
Yeah.
And then I kept dying, and I remember I said like, oh, I'm gonna fucking like I feel like I'm gonna die in real life with how much I'm like dying in game, right?
Yeah.
And I remember he said, no, I don't want you to die. You're like my best friend, man. And then when he died, that literally just repeated in my head over and over and over and over again. And I like, even though I hadn't talked to him in years at that point, I was just like thinking about that over and over again. So yeah, it's kind of weird how when I feel like when someone dies, there's the little moments are like what you really just kind of remember, those small interactions, you know, kind of like the interactions where when they happen, they don't really even cross your mind. They just, you know, zoom past and you go on with your life. And then it's like the brain stores these somewhere in some kind of hidden compartment so that when it comes out, you're just kind of like, whoa.
Yeah.
Because yeah, that's something. And then another person I knew that died was it was this this guy that was like a Tetris world champion.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me about him.
Yeah, his name was Jonas. And I met him in real life because I got really into competitive Tetris, and I reached out to him and I was like, dude, you're sick. And we kind of like talked quite a bit. And then when I was in LA in 2019, him and his wife showed me around Pasadena. And when we were in LA this time, I went thrifting with Matt and Jim, and we walked to this pizza place, and I didn't even realize we were in Pasadena, but we walked to this pizza place, and I was like, wait a minute, this is where I came with him.
Damn.
And I never thought I would be back in that place. And I just like, it was so weird. Like I was just looking at all the doors, and I was like, wow, like I was here with him, and I just ended back up in this fucking little alleyway for some reason.
That's crazy.
So yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of, it's literally those little moments with, you know, what my friend said to me, and then like walking through doors of a restaurant.
Yeah. It's crazy, man. Life and death never gets old, and it never fucking ceases to surprise.
Well, yeah, it's the one thing that's guaranteed, right? The one thing that's guaranteed, and the one thing that we know so little about.
Yeah. Also, I just realized, did we say why we didn't upload another episode?
I think I was like,
like I just like in the middle of that talk, I was like, did we address why we didn't upload another episode like in a month? And then I was just like thinking about us being like, yeah, death in life, man, it's fucking crazy. It is a good conversation, but I was like, did we even?
I think I just said like I didn't have anything to talk about.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And then I just kind of started like unraveling the fucking little rolls in my head.
I know what you mean. Because, yeah, we don't have anything to talk about, but we can talk about stuff. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, because I don't know. I do. You know what? Here's the thing is, right? I think the last, like, year, I've been a little bit more, like, closed off.
Yeah.
And I think I went into this mode where I was just like, if I have nothing funny to talk about, then I'm not going to talk at all.
Yeah.
And
I'm the exact same.
I didn't really have a lot of funny shit to talk about. So when I would just kind of like, but I don't know, like I think about like the kind of stuff that I like to listen to, and I like listening to people get real.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy it. It's interesting, you know, picking people's brains.
Yeah, just hearing anyone's like opinions about anything. I don't really need even like people's anecdotes about their life. It's like if you just fucking talk about, you know, what, like, I mean, there's so much to talk about, but it's one of those things where like it's almost like this weird like complex where it's like you have so much to talk about that you have nothing to talk about because it's just too much.
Yeah, that is real. Very real. Mind full but empty.
That's how I feel. That's literally like my entire fucking being. I feel like for like also the past years, like I have so much I need to do and so much I should do, but it's like I feel like I'm just like brain empty. I don't know what the fuck to say. I don't know what to talk about because I feel like I don't really have like that much going on. But at the same time, it's like podcasts don't need to be that. It doesn't need to be like, oh, you need to have like fucking the Jimmy Fallon like bulletin of like, oh, this is what happened in the news. Because most of it is just because like best moments of the I feel like one of the best moments of the podcast was like you ripping off that thing on the wall.
Oh yeah, true.
That shit was not planned. You weren't even talking. It just happened. Shit happens, and that's the best thing about podcasting.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's the beauty of it. I guess you just got to kind of sit down and like see what happens, you know. And I mean, I doubt like anyone that's listening to this is really expecting like some like world class analysis of anything. I think people are just kind of looking for, I guess, something to have on in the background while they try to micromanage their business.
Exactly. Because if you're coming to us for fucking advice, I feel like, you know, we could give you some good, like, you know, advice, and we could give you some good steps to get a good advice. But I mean, we're not like fucking geniuses here. We're fucking Twitch streamers and like content creators. So
that is very true. We like, I think there was a time where I was way better at giving advice because I was seeing a lot more life. Now I'm just kind of like, I live in a bubble. I live a pretty comfortable life. Mm-hmm. So I'm like most of like, I can give advice on things that I know, but like there's a lot of shit that I just, fortunately I don't have to deal with right now.
Yeah. Like my fucking biggest problem today was, oh, boo-hoo, I had a headache today and I needed to play in a Fall Guys tournament for 4 hours. And I was like, oh, I'm tired. That was my job for the day. Like, meanwhile, people are literally in coal mines like fucking 100 miles from me, like sweating and fucking going down the caves so they can provide for the family. I'm like, you know, 7th place, $750, no big deal. It's like, I mean, we are very fortunate to be in this position. I'm never going to take it for granted ever. As much as I may sometimes come off like I do, I'm like, this is fucking kind of crazy. Like I'm building a room in the basement just so I can have like stream content and also to sleep in. I mean, it's not like it's actually going to be my room, but it is one of those things where like, so many other people that are our age, they do so many different paths, and it's kind of crazy that we get to be on a kind of widespread, screen for a lot of people, and people watch us and listen to us and even fucking buy clothes with our shit on it. Mm-hmm. So
it's kind of crazy to think about. But like, I don't know. Like I feel like if I showed myself from like 7 years ago of all the things that I've done in like the last 5 years, I would feel really like good about myself. But now I'm just like, I don't know. I think I lose perspective a lot of the time.
So I think it's one of those things where like everyone that started YouTube had the dream of getting to be a YouTuber. And so then once you actually accomplish that goal, the next thing is, oh, what's the next goal? And if you don't have that next goal, you don't have like, exactly like something you want to do next. And like you lose that passion for a bit and you're like, oh, I'm like doing this. But then you forget in a way like, oh, I'm doing this. Like I'm a YouTuber now. Like, I don't know. I feel like I always have to like tell myself that a lot where I'm like, oh yeah, like I may not be like the biggest person on earth by any means necessary. I don't even want to be. I feel like that's too stressful. But it is crazy to think like, oh, like just 4 years ago, I was like graduating from high school and I was able to tell my mom like, hey, like I don't want to go to college. I want to do YouTube. And then I was like, okay. And I did it. And so now I'm here.
Now you're here.
Now I'm in the basement.
Time is really kind of, it went by in the blink of an eye, I feel like.
Dude, it's like, I don't know who, I saw it on someone's story. I think it might have been Enya's, where she was like, I don't know why I'm so baffled that 2021 was like 2 years ago. But that is crazy to think about. Like COVID was 3 years ago. And like, I moved to Austin 2 years ago and now I'm not even in Austin.
Yeah.
Like that is bizarre to think about. Like time is flying by so fast where like, even now it's like, it's May. It's fucking May already. Yeah. And it barely feels like the year started, but we're almost halfway done. So
I was thinking about like, it's kind of funny to think about how I have been doing this longer than I was in high school.
That's crazy. That I also thought about that too, where like I have friends that are the same age as me and they're graduating college. So I've been doing that the entire time they've been in college. And I'm like, that's weird. Like I've been doing this for 4 years now.
Yeah. Because I mean, that's why I'm also kind of like, it's been 5 years. Like if it ends tomorrow, I mean, I can say I had a damn good run. 5 years of this shit. That's like, I had a little bit of staying power. I did my thing for a little bit. So it's like, I can't like be too upset. I wasn't just a little flash in the pan.
Yeah, exactly, man. We killed it and we got some more life to us, man.
Yeah.
We're going to do it for another 4.
It's just I don't know. It's wild. And I also wish I would stop feeling like such an old man. I think I just constantly end up feeling like such an old. I don't feel young, which is stupid because I am young, but I don't feel it. And it's the most like, I'm sure like any time if I were to say that to someone that's like 40, they're going to roll their eyes and be like, oh, that's the most like 24-year-old thing of all time. Oh, you don't feel young.
I think part of it is the fact that like, I feel like in a way doing like YouTube or like any entertainment shit, it feels like the amount of years you have is kind of like dog years where it's like, the amount of years you've been in it, multiply that like 4. So then it feels like we've been doing this for fucking 16 years because everyone else is like coming up. It's like, oh, here's the next new fucking star that's 16 years old and just made $5 million in a month. So you're like, oh, well, I'm old dog status and ain't no secret. So, and then, but in reality, it's like, I'm fucking 22, you're 24. We're in our prime.
Yeah.
It's just some other people aren't.
I find it kind of fascinating, the idea that, I mean, there's a lot of life to live until 30. And I feel like there's so many people that like, they didn't really you live so much life until that point that like I think there's so many lessons that they're just kind of impossible to know until you're there.
Yeah.
And so many people, they kind of get their shit together at like 30, 40,
Mm-hmm.
and it's comforting. You look at like a lot of like cool actors and stuff. They didn't like get really crazy until their 30s. The 30s is the kind of like where it kind of starts to hit. Maybe, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It starts to fucking really like. I also read a thing about, because Taylor Swift is doing all that shit now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, she's always up to something.
Yeah, and I saw some people kind of say like, I don't know. I've been reading a little bit too much into it just because I'm a little bit baffled.
Yeah, there is a lot to be baffled by, I feel like.
I'm a little bit baffled, and I read this thing that someone wrote about how in some ways I guess celebrities kind of stop maturing at some age, because they had such a different life. Mm-hmm. So you realize like you'll see like 30-year-old, she's like 33, I guess.
Is she?
Yeah, I think so.
I guess that makes sense.
You'll see 33-year-olds doing some kind of things that maybe seem a little bit immature for that age.
Yeah.
Because they just, they kind of live in a different life. Because that's, people are shocked at the Maddie Healy thing, and I mean, you should be. But I guess it's just another lesson to remind yourself that like the super rich celebrities, they just they live a very different life, and they just don't care about things like these. They just don't, which is obviously not like a defense. It's more of like it's the reality. They don't care. They don't care about any of this shit, and they will never really understand why regular people care about stuff like this. Mm-hmm. Why they think like dating someone that has kind of like a very racist past is bad.
Yeah, I feel like it's one of those things where like you see some people kind of snap out of it, or like they kind of get brought into reality a bit, and they're like, oh, like I was a fucking huge piece of shit, and they talk about it like, oh, I didn't realize like how out of touch I am. And I feel like it's one of those things where like in the entertainment industry, it's like I feel like it's like, okay, you're gonna have like that moment in time, but I feel like it's kind of more delayed for like people like that, where it's like, I don't know. I just think like everyone has a moment in their life where your brain kind of switches and you go, oh, like this is what life is about, or I was doing life wrong, or I need to do this, and making that adjustment. But sometimes when you're all like surrounded by fucking millions of dollars and fucking tons of like famous people, you kind of get clouded by that. And so, you might have a moment where you're like, oh, hold on a second, I shouldn't be dating this racist. Yeah. And then that might be fucking 5 years from now, might be 10 years from now. I don't know. But I don't know. I just feel like it's one of those things it's bound to happen, but can't expect it to happen anytime soon.
It's just happens randomly. I don't know. It's just like, I guess it shows that you shouldn't really idolize these people. You should idolize broke celebrities instead, like Young Lean and Lord. They're too broke to be out of touch, man. They got to keep working.
Exactly. and us, dude. Like, I don't have walls. Exactly. I'm in a basement. Like, think about that. We're in touch with you. Like, we could be living in the hills. We could be living in New York City. I'm in Louisville, Kentucky, in a basement. Aksel is in an apartment or condo. We don't know.
It is
penthouse.
It's a condo, but I look down and I see poor people.
Yeah, and you throw rocks at them, but you're learning from your mistakes.
I'm learning from my mistakes. I thought they kind of enjoyed it as like a game.
No, they don't.
My court date says otherwise. So, but I sending my prayers to, I guess, all the Swifties out there. Mm-hmm. Taylor Swift, probably not really that great of a person, to be honest.
I won't say that. I won't say that out loud, but you all can hear that and listen to it.
Like many other celebrities, like most other celebrities, here's the thing is, I mean, I honestly think like I think the overwhelming majority of celebrities are probably not great people.
No, they're not like fucking people that you should like really truly look up to. Like everyone has something in their life where it's like, oh, they're a fucking piece of shit for this. Some
Yeah.
things you can overlook more than others, obviously, but it's like
Yeah.
I wouldn't go around thinking that like, oh, if you're a celebrity, you're the golden child. You're just probably better at hiding that shit than other people are. Like once you get to a size that's like Taylor Swift, if she did anything terrible, she could probably like have somebody like actually sweep it under the rug and we would never know.
Yeah.
But, you know, she'd be flying that private plane and we caught her on that. So, you know.
I mean, you got to remember,
off.
like she's got 2 planes. Like she really said, you know what? I'm gonna fuck the earth double.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna fucking double. I'm sending some huge emissions.
And I said, you know what? You go, girl.
I mean, that's another thing I feel like is also just the idea of idolizing is just you shouldn't idolize a person because, like you said, people are nuanced.
Mm-hmm.
People are, and this is kind of branching away from Taylor Swift. I'm just clarifying that just so this doesn't come off as like
you dig yourself into a hall where it's like, oh, so just went on like a 30-minute rant about Taylor Swift on the podcast.
Yeah.
Can't believe
like this is not related to her situation. I don't want people to like think like, oh, Taylor Swift is nuanced. She's a nuanced queen. She'll date a racist.
Yeah, she's a bit nuanced for that.
But there is like this thing where I think sometimes on with like I feel like the way that people look at things, it's the nuance is forgotten. I think it's like you're either good or you're bad. You know, you either do everything right, or if you do something wrong, then you're bad now. You know,
yeah.
Where I think it was like, who said this? It was like a film director. Who's that guy that made the Pinocchio? The Pinocchio.
Oh, Guillermo del Toro.
Yeah, I think he said this. He said something about how like the idea like let me like think about this. Something about how the idea of niceness is kind of like a disease where it's like we just keep wanting people to be nice, but it's like no person is really nice, you know?
Yeah.
I'd like, you know, because the way that we go by our days is like, and I don't fucking care like how much of a fucking moral high ground you stand on. This goes for every person where it's like at 9 a.m. we're nice. At 10 a.m. we're stressed. At 11 a.m. we're fucking tired. At 12 p.m. maybe we're nice again, but then, you know, at 1 p.m. maybe something happens in the day and we're fucking assholes at 1 p.m.
Yeah.
It's just how it goes. So the idea of just like, because I mean, it happens a lot with celebrities where it's like people just ask, is this person nice?
Yeah.
And it's like all the fucking like responses will be like, well, I met him once and they were very nice. And then the next one will be like, I met him once and they were cold. And it's like, you don't know what was going on that day.
Yeah, he's like, I met him at the airport when he was flying in to go to his fucking mother's funeral. And he was a real piece of shit to me for some reason. And it's like, well,
yeah, he just didn't want to fucking talk to me.
People have bad days. People have bad experiences. You can't fucking take one experience and define a person with it because it's just like, I don't know. Have you had a bad experience in your life? Would you want everyone else in your whole entire being, plus the world, like fucking think, oh, you're a piece of shit because of that one thing that happened that one time? It's like, no. We grow, we move on. I'm sure they probably wanted to be nice, but they just couldn't because, you know, shit's going on.
Yeah. Have you seen that TikTok that's on Twitter right now where it's this like, it's this girl doing that thing where, you know, when someone's like trying to sound really smart, so they talk all monotone, where it's like, all right, I'm going to clear up some things for y'all. And then she said a bunch of things where it's like, if somebody doesn't seem that interested in you, you need to move on. And it was a bunch of this shit where it's like, if someone cheats on you, you either break up with them and move on, or you work through it. You shouldn't sulk over it. And it was the stupidest shit of all time, because it's like, I don't like people like that, because once again, it's like you're taking away the human from everything.
Yeah.
You're expecting everything to just operate automatically, where it's like, okay, this person that I am interested in doesn't want me, or like it's kind of like unclear if they want me. I'm just gonna, like, as a robot, move on. Yes, yes, you know, if we were all robots, yes, move on, find someone else. But like, we've all been in those positions where it's like you're kind of just hoping, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because you get emotionally invested in it. It's how it works. So then it's so fucking stupid to have some monotone motherfucker be like, you need to move on. You need to move on. You need to,
It is stupid. I don't know why people sometimes just forget about emotions. How that can cloud a ton of things with making judgments and whatnot.
Honestly, there's a lot of people, and I'm sure, we've all been guilty of this at some point. It's a fucking easy way to just get like a moral high ground over someone, where it's like you get to be like, oh, you're struggling with this. Yeah, you're supposed to just move on. You're whatever. Oh, you did this, you did that, but it's like it's a very easy way to feel better about yourself is to fucking like explain these stupid things to someone like they don't understand it themselves. It's like, I feel like if it was easy to like robotically move on from everything like that, people would. They would.
It wouldn't be like an issue.
Exactly. So it's just stupid. People are fucking stupid.
People are dumb. We should let AI run our life.
People are stupid 2012 edition.
Dude, oh my God. We need People Are Awesome back. That will make the earth a better place.
No, I think that's what we need for harmony for sure, yeah.
People doing parkour again. There's no more parkour.
We need to all come together and kind of like just enjoy like some guy doing a flip on a mountain.
Mm-hmm. But now you can't without being like, is that guy Republican? Because then you're like, oh, well, that guy also, the guy who just did a backflip off a fucking mountain was at the Jan 6 riots, and you're like, oh, God
well, that's the thing is like most people that do backflips, they kind of are Republican.
Something about it doing a backflip is pretty Republican. Like you don't need to be doing that.
It screams like conservative.
You just want to show off. You want to be an alpha male, which is like the whole fucking thing with like so many conservative dudes where it's like, I want to be top dog.
I want to be awesome. I'm going to ride a bicycle.
And do a backflip.
Do a backflip and fucking jump over this like tree.
I want to do a backflip and then also vote for DeSantis in the fucking primary election. Ugh. So cool and awesome.
Well, I guess thank you for listening. To those that have stuck around with us through the many COOLDOG hiatuses, we thank you. You have anything you want to say?
Yeah, much more hiatuses to come. We'll be back in 2 months from now, and leave a comment talking about when you think the next episode will be, and we'll give you a star if you're kind of correct, or
whoever gets closest,
or leave a comment about who is your favorite nuanced human being.
Yeah, what's the craziest nuance that you have?
Exactly. Make yourself human.
Democrat on a Tuesday, Republican on a Wednesday.
Sometimes you are, sometimes you aren't. Who knows?
Exactly. Thank you for listening, everybody.
Bye-bye.